I'm about to show you something most people never think about. When you see a soldier, you think superhero, right? Strong, invincible, unbreakable. We see them march home to parades and crowd salutes and think, yes, the war is over. They made it. They won. But what if I told you that for so many of us, the biggest and hardest battle is just getting started? This battle is silent. It's fought inside our heads long after the fighting stops. It's a secret war against memories and ghosts that nobody else can see. You can literally leave a war zone, but the war doesn't always leave you. I came home, but I was basically a ghost in my own life, smiling, working, pretending, all on the inside. I was still back there 24/7. This is the war after the war. Every soldier carries a pack, but when we come home, we get a new one, an invisible backpack, crammed with everything we saw, everything we did, everyone we lost. At first, you don't even realize it's there. You just go back to work. You try to be a good husband, a good dad, a good citizen, but that weight, it's crushing. That's why a car backfiring makes us dive for cover. That's why we scan a crowded restaurant like it's a mission. That's why a family barbecue feels like we're on another planet. And here's the mask. The military trained us to push through insane pain and never complain. That kept us alive in combat. But back home, that silence is deadly. I know because I wore the mask. Smiling at church, laughing at cookouts, going through the motions at work, but inside I was bleeding out. We're terrified of being seen as broken, so we hide. And the wounds, they just rot in the dark. If you want to win a war, you have to name the enemy. And the enemies we fight after service are brutal. Post-traumatic stress. Not just bad memories, it rewires your brain. Your fight or flight switch is on. Nightmares that jolt you awake soaked in sweat. A smell, a sound, and suddenly you're back in the worst day of your life. Stats? About 7% of all veterans have PTSD. For Iraq and Afghanistan vets, as high as 29%. That's almost 1 in 3. Depression, not just sadness, it's emptiness. A black fog that drains the color out of life. For VA patients, 1 in 3 wrestle with it. Just getting out of bed feels impossible. Moral injury, this is deeper. It's shame. It's the wound from a choice you had to make and the life you couldn't save. And the question haunts you, am I still a good man? And when the pain feels unbearable, many of us numb it with alcohol, pills, or worse. But that's a trap. It doesn't heal anything. It just strengthens the enemy. There comes a point where the backpack gets too heavy and the mask cracks. For some, it's a marriage falling apart. For others, it's losing a job. Or one moment of uncontrollable anger that scares the people you love most. It's the moment you realize, I'm losing this war. And the statistics here are horrifying. On average, 17 veterans die by suicide every single day. Some studies say if you count overdoses and self-injury, it could be over 40 a day. That's more than 6,000 warriors a year, not dying on the battlefield, but in their own homes. For too many, the breaking point is the end. But it doesn't have to be. The breaking point can also be a turning point. The moment you say, I can't do this alone, I need help, that's the moment the fight changes. We think bravery is running toward gunfire, but for a veteran suffering in silence, the bravest thing you can ever do is admit you're not invincible. Asking for help isn't weakness. It's declaring war on the darkness. That's what Alex discovered. 2 tours, came home a hero, but the war followed him. He wore the mask until it nearly destroyed him, until his wife Sarah sat down after one brutal night and whispered, "I miss you. I'm scared I'm going to lose you. We have to fight this together." That broke through, and Alex made the hardest call of his life, to a veteran support center. He thought it was surrender, but it was actually his first counterattack. Therapy was brutal at first, but it gave him strategies, tools to ground himself, fight the flashbacks, face the shame. He realized PTSD wasn't weakness, it's an injury. The real game changer? Peer support. Sitting in a room full of veterans who just got it. He said, "Crowds make me panic." They nodded. He said, "I hate sleeping because of nightmares," and they understood. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't alone. Soon, he reconnected with his family, and eventually he found a new mission: helping other veterans win the war after the war. Redeployed, not to fight enemies overseas, but to rescue brothers at home. Here's what I've learned. Scars, they don't disqualify us. They prove we survived. Every scar on your body means you lived through something that could have killed you. The same is true for the scars inside. When I finally got home, when I finally got honest with God, my wife, my brothers, I started to heal. Slowly, imperfectly, but truly, God doesn't run from scars. Jesus showed his to prove he had overcome. So why are we so afraid to show ours? Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 12 that weakness became his strength because it pulled him closer to Christ. That's what I found. My weakness isn't disqualifying me, it's refining me. Scars aren't weakness, they're evidence of survival. This isn't about erasing the memories. The scars don't vanish, but peace is possible. A new kind of peace, it's the peace of knowing how to handle a trigger without spiraling. The peace of sitting at a dinner table, fully present with your family instead of haunted by ghosts. The peace of choosing light when darkness calls your name. The war, after the war, is the hardest fight we'll ever face. But it's one we can win. Veterans, pause and drop this in the comments. What's one thing you wish civilians understood about veterans? Because another brother needs to hear it today. Taking off the uniform isn't the end of our service. It's just the start of a new mission. To win back our minds, our spirits, our lives. If you're a veteran struggling right now, you are not alone. The Veterans Crisis Line is open 24/7. Dial 988 and press 1. It's free, confidential, and you don't need to be in the VA system. And for the rest of you, share this video. Be the support system our veterans deserve. Listening without judgment might just save a life. Veterans, this channel exists for you. Every week, we're building a brotherhood of healing, honesty, and faith. So hit subscribe. Join the Outpost at jointheredeployed.com. And most of all, drop your story in the comments, because you're not weak. You're not disqualified. You're redeployed.